What's up, everybody? This is your girl Erica from the Classy Climb blog. I was gonna come on here, Rando Macho Man Savage style with some shades, but I didn't. I was busy earlier. So listen, long the story short, you see the port strike has suspended. Let me tell you what really happened. Okay, drop your city and state in the chat, and let me get into it. I was gonna call Dr. Dix and a few other people to come on and do a panel, do live, but I want y'all to understand this is a combination of events. All right. I particularly love the show they just put on. And I'm gonna give you the data, right? Because y'all love, the silly, but I'm gonna give y'all the data on the port and the portmen, okay? The port longshoremen. All right, so listen, let's really go there. Right now, I don't know if y'all understand how, make sure this, my bad. I ain't like how that loud noise was. I don't think y'all understand how strikes work or polling. Now, polling is going on all over the United States. Yes, for the election, but also for various charities, causes, and functions. The firefighters, before they strike, before they do anything, they go, hey, how don't you want to pay your local firefighter more? Yes. Oh my God. Don't you want to pay this person more? I am telling you, the average person doesn't understand or know what a longshoreman was before this week. I'll just be very honest with you. The average American, where they live and who they live around, they only know about those jobs. Prime example, military people, the number one enrollment they get is from children of enlisted people at 90%. And now it just dropped the last couple of years. Only 75% of children of enlisted are enrolling in the Army, and the Army's freaking out because they've always had like 90% of the children of enlisted enlist. So it's just like easy money, right? So today, when you found out what a longshoreman was, I'm going to tell you what happened. They said, wait a minute, you tell me this brother drives a forklift? You telling me this brother moves freight around in a truck and drives a forklift? Baby, I can learn how to do a forklift at Lowe's and Home Depot in 20 minutes. They can teach me how to do a forklift there. We don't have a high level of respect for certain types of blue collar work. This is just true. So I'm gonna tell you what happened. They went around calling people in the Midwest and Nashville and Chattanooga, calling people in Georgia and Florida, and little old people picked up the phone and they said, do you support the longshoremen striking? And they said, well, yeah, they need more money. Well, do you support them asking for a 77% raise? 77%? That's kind of high. But if they need it, yeah. Then they go, do you support them? They make on average $120K to $200K a year. All polls went, get back to work. Brother, sister, get back to work. Now, let me give you the data. Let me give you the data numbers, because right now, the average longshoreman dies of a stroke at 62 to 64 years old. Did y'all know that? All right. The average longshoreman right now in America age is 39 years old. The oldest average longshoreman for ages is, guess where? New York City, 55 years old. So who do you think this strike is really for? Is this strike for the 39-year-old man who's got kids, is in the middle of little kids, maybe teenagers, needs the money, gotta work? No, this is for the New Yorker who's 55 years old. This is for the Mobile, Alabamas. This is for some of those ports where the average guy is old and he needs the money. So he's like, we should strike. Let me give you the racial or demographics. It's 53% white. Now, every time they've turned on the news, they've made sure to put every black and brown Latino longshoreman in front of the camera, insulting your intelligence that you would not Google this. You would not go look up the data they actually pulled on these people. 53% of those dudes are white. So the guy you're thinking of is a white guy with a pickup truck and a boat somewhere and a house, and he doing all right. 20% are Latino. Again, we have ports in all places, right? Even though these ports are in the southeast and you would think they're black, they're 20% Latino. 15% are black and 5% are Asian. Now you're going to say, Erica, where are Asians at? A little bit of the West Coast areas, but also New Orleans, those areas further south, you have a lot of Asians in the fishing industry, and also is longshoremen. Now, many people are going to get you to say, but Erica, they deserve this money. And I say, listen, does the guy at Walmart driving the forklift deserve more money? Oh, hell no, he don't deserve more money. That's how people are looking at this. I am telling you without a shadow of doubt, when they polled people on the phone, the feedback was so negative. And I'm gonna tell you another thing that happened. When they started dropping the information that the union boss was making $1 million a year and had a yacht and had a big old house, when he came on TV with $2,000 to $3,000 glasses on his face and a gold chain that most average black people, when they did the math, like, wait a minute, that chain costs that's a mortgage on your face and neck. He was like a character out of an old movie. Now, they already said the dude has mob ties. We ain't got to go there. But I am certain when they said, hey, we tried to give them 55%. When people heard that, they lost favor. I promise you, it's the fourth quarter. This is the most money-making season in America. Fourth quarter in America is where people cash in and go into the black for their business. They just got off summer. They spent all their money, and companies are like, we about to cash in for the rest of the last 90 days of the year. We're going to cash in big money. If you're in my Digital Liberty Warriors group, I have a video coming up. I'm going to probably do a Zoom. Might be easier. But I literally went on Etsy the other day, and it's non-stop Trump stuff, Kamala stuff. People are buying this stuff. They got stars, they got ratings, they got numbers. People are buying this stuff because it's top of mind. People only learn about certain careers in America if someone tells them. The average black person, when you start talking to them about careers, they start talking about being a teacher, a nurse, a CNA, and this is no disrespect, a social worker. I'm gonna be a lawyer, right? Or being a cop. They 9 times out of 10 are not talking about engineering jobs, software sales. They're not talking to you about higher level informational jobs. And the reason is because location, proximity, who they're around, who they're introduced to, exposure. This is why when they interview kids under 7 years old, they say they can be anything. Astronauts, plumbers, pliers, anything. When they get in about 15, their view of what they could do is like this. I can probably do this. It's because of exposure. It's a lack of exposure. That's why you have all these kids talking about, I'm going to do sports. I'm going to do music. Baby, what else? Lack of exposure. If you're not putting kids in these summer camps, these educational camps, these other stuff, it's lack of exposure. Why did 2019 to 2021 there be such a blow on YouTube, Instagram of black people showing you Turo, Airbnb, wholesaling, loan mortgages, how to be a mortgage broker, tech, all this tech stuff that just blew up? People are like, these jobs exist? These opportunities exist? This is why I don't feel sympathy for a lot of people, because they're on their phones and it's like they just woke up today. So if you're a longshoreman and you're at work and you hear the rumbles of automation, I know what happened to you. You got on the phone, you looked in Indeed, and you saw, where else can I go? Can I go south? Can the union take me south? Oh, the South don't play unions? Oh no. I'm stuck in a high income state. I'm stuck in a Baltimore. I'm stuck in a New York. I'm stuck in a high income place with active income and no assets. Let me tell you, I had a phone call the other day. My family member wanted me to help this other person that we know. And I said, okay, cool. I'm ready to get on the phone with her. I can help her. I can walk her through what's going on. I start listening. And I literally said, wait a minute. How much do you make a year? Oh, I make $130 a year. Y'all almost hung the phone up. Because when I did the math on this woman making $130 a year and she's in her late 50s and her life is a mess. It just is. And I just said, we got to cut some stuff. You make plenty money to cut stuff. Oh, no, I make this much a year. I like going over here. I like doing this amount of travel a year. I like doing this. You know, they gave me that credit card. Ma'am, you had to apply for the credit card. By the time I got off the phone with that woman, y'all, I was stressed out. I needed a nap. And I had no sympathy, because what you're coming across is a bunch of late 40s, 45 to 55-year-old people who are making $100K. They're finally making the big money. So they're going to vacation. They're going to buy the BMW. They're going to buy the vehicle and have $800 a month car payments. They're going to go buy the biggest house they ever needed, and they don't, because they're at grandparent stage. They're going to go all the way to the max in their finances and go, well, I want to retire in 5 years. How, Betty? How, Mr. Jeff? How? This is why Dave Ramsey will continue to make money, because you have tone deaf longshoremen who drive forklifts. It's fast paced. Don't get it twisted. It's fast paced. They moving, they doing stuff, they shaking their shoulders, all that stuff. It's fast paced. Don't get it twisted. They are doing warehouse work and getting paid 120. It was tone deaf to even strike it in the beginning. When it got out, when people said, oh, those poor longshoremen, and the average person in their head say, well, they probably make 50K a year. Because we think in this country, white collar, in an office, tech related, healthcare related means I make 100K a year. We do not assume a man who, as we know, drives semi trucks can get up to 100K a year. We don't assume the guy working a forklift can get up to 100K a year. And so for them to complain, we're like, how dare you? Do you know how many people I know from the trucking industry that own trucks that were like, just shut up and drive? Like they literally did not want to hear any complaints from their drivers, because they're like, you're in a vehicle, it's brand new, it's nice, shut up and drive. They're like, you have a high school education. Yes, you have this skill to drive, but your credit's in the toilet. You have child support payments. Only way you make money is if this truck is moving. Shut up and drive. You've boxed yourself into this economic situation. If you had other skills, you wouldn't do this. If you did the math on you owning your own vehicle and just paying some girl to dispatch and do your paperwork because you don't got time to do paperwork, you would see like, well, I could drive the truck myself, own it myself, and my numbers would be like, my company make 250K a year. That's gross, not net. After all expenses, I still would come out kind of big baller. But see, the average driver doesn't want to be responsible for their self. They don't want to do that. They just want to get in the truck and ride and complain, because the average person don't have other skills. And so when they get lack of exposure to, I have to make money, but I also have to invest this money, that's what we're coming up against with longshoremen. The average longshoreman in New York is 55 years old. This contract, even if it's just for 3 years, which is always what it's been 3 years. They knew this is it. This is the last hurrah. When they hit that pandemic, that's when they should ask for this money. Simple as that. This has been a long road in the making, y'all. This didn't just start yesterday that, oh, we're striking. No. They've been drumming this beat for more than 2 years. They just needed that TV attention to get that extra push. But I'm telling you, for them to offer them 50% right off top, these companies are like, look, we don't care. Y'all about to be out of here. Here's 50%. So let's just do simple math. I make 100K a year. I'm a longshoreman. They offer me a 50% raise. I'm gonna make 150 a year. Where's that not? That don't make no sense. That's a union boss squeezing the last power of the union. They squeezing the last of the power of the union. Let's say I'm at 200 and they offer me 50% raise. I'm only gonna be here for probably 3 more years. The body, the neck, it's a tiring job. I'm on retirement's door. Y'all, this is all union. If you don't believe the power of union, go drive up and look at Detroit. Go up there and look at Minneapolis. Go look at some of these cities that look like shit now, because they said, y'all want to play mobster games. Y'all want to do 1950s mob games. Baby, we'll take every single one of these jobs. We'll uproot it. We'll pull it up out the ground and throw it into Mexico. We'll pull every single one of these jobs and we'll put it in Alabama, where people are like, $15, that's great. We'll take every one of these factory pieces of equipment. We'll move it right on down the street. You're free to strike all day. Guess what? We're going to move this equipment. Now, New York, the same New York, that's really the one that's got this strike going like this. They was getting caught with billions of dollars of drugs coming through the port. JP Morgan Chase told me, I don't know how that's on our boat. We don't know how the billions of dollars of drugs is on our boat. We don't know. But the longshoremen found it. So part of when I tell y'all, getting these longshoremen out the way for automation, who's going to catch the drugs? Who's catching the drugs now? Who's getting the 5-finger discount now? Who? Right? You know what I mean? I don't think y'all understand the days of, and there was a statistic that came out, and they did a study, and they're showing right now, I think every 2 days in America, uh, a man unalives his family and himself, and it's a really bad stat. And the police are like, hey, like this is kind of going bad here. So we need some help. I think the days of us saying, well, yeah, just pay them what are on, men run the world, men build everything. Yeah, let's give men lots of money. It's like, okay, we giving it to them. We giving them all the money. We need other tools here to help, aka mental health, aka doctor help, aka doctor appointments, aka like, why is violence in this particular way, or violence among certain groups of men happening? Now people are going to say, well, Erica, it's because we're not getting paid enough. And when you hear a longshoreman makes 120 to 200,000 a year, your sympathy goes out the window. The guy or girl who's been studying at college for 6 years and has a government job and barely can crack 80, 90. And they're at the DMV worker, the manager, the school principals, the Chipotle manager making 92,000 a year. That's making hella burritos. Gets more sympathy than a longshoreman. I'm just telling y'all. They would not have folded this quickly if the polls didn't say so. If y'all understand anything about politics, if you ever get a chance to work on a campaign, you ever get a chance to work for a polling agency, they make money from the federal government. They get government contracts. It was something I wanted to talk about yesterday with Erica on the channel. But you get government contracts to poll people, because the polling was so atrocious during Hillary Clinton versus Trump. They put even more money into polling now. Research and development is a big money maker. I am telling you, when they poll people and they figured out what is a longshoreman, what do they do, and how much do they make? Oh, hell no, get the hell on out of here. And it's union. Now, we see what unions did to the Midwest. We're good on unions. We're done with that. It's the fourth quarter. Christmas is coming. Get back to work. Let me see some of y'all comments, and I'll kind of go more into the data. But I'm telling you, when they showed that union boss made 900,000 a year, when they showed he had a yacht, not a boat, dude has a yacht. They showed his house. They're showing you his clothing. He's like a throwback from the 1990s with the chains, the jewelry, the goofy stuff. It's a throwback. It's over. That's a wrap. Us paying men who drive forklifts $150K, it's a wrap. No, once you figured out what a longshoreman is, we're like, oh no. We've relegated in our head that's not important enough. You're just moving boxes. Can a computer do it? Let's do it with a computer. I'm being honest. When Kamala came out there and said, hey, we're going to make sure there's enough daycares and home care centers, and we're going to get these prices lower. You can't force nobody to wipe grandma booty. You can't force nobody to babysit these kids. That's where the free market comes in. Now, we can nudge people to say, you see how high it is? The only way you as a woman and husband can work is if y'all live on one income. And your wife look at you go, I ain't living on that income. I'm going to go to work. I'm going to put these kids in daycare. I just want y'all to understand that what's happening right now in front of you, it's not polling well. It's just not. Let me see some of y'all comments, and I'm gonna read through a bit. And I just want y'all to understand, like, when they got the feedback from the polling groups, they said, oh, let's go ahead and pack this ship up. It's a run. It's done. Dr. Dix, Erica, full scale automation is coming. The port will never let that happen again. Honey, the day 2-3 years ago when they started saying they were going to strike, man, they already had the plans in place. What you talking about? Have you been to the West Coast? The West Coast, the longshoremen, they were making $200K. New guys, they showed a video. They had a video, and I was going to show it. One of the last longshoremen young workers, he was getting $80K, y'all. He was 20 years old. He only had worked at fast food before. And his uncle worked out there, and that's how he got the job. That's how he got the job. He ain't got no skills. He didn't know how to fix a damn thing, but he was 20, and his uncle worked out there. And so he was entitled to $80K entry-level job. The average California dude was making $200K. In California, I get it. It's expensive. I know Cali's expensive. I'm not going to hurt y'all on that. That's why they got rid of y'all. They're like, we're going to pay y'all $200K to drive forklifts? Oh, no. Get that computer out here. Mm-mm. I think y'all underestimating. When I say we're in a fourth turning, and put fourth turning, just put fourth in the comments. A fourth turning is when you reach a point in society where we're heavy, the country's heavy in debt. The birth rates are really low. And so we're at a conundrum point. If you look what happened in North Carolina, which I'll do a show probably tomorrow. I know I'm supposed to hop on a show later, California time, with Todd Millie and them, but I don't know if I make that one. But I'm going to just put you this way. Look at the road in North Carolina. Look what happened in Georgia, right? Dr. Dix. Me and Dr. Dix couldn't even get on because Dr. Dix was in a way where they didn't have power, but he got power back. But I want you to understand, he's way inland from that storm. Fourth turnings happen when you have all the people that could fix things, could fix linemen that could fix the line, men that could fix the road, men that could do plumbing, men that can fix stuff. They're too old. The people that can fix the country are 55 to 65 years old. The average farmer is old, 62 years old. This is why when I go over here in Texas and they have these farm banquet dinners, they're like, hey, Miss Williams, would you like to consider farming? I mean, we have farms for sale. We have all this stuff. Why? Because I'm a woman. I'm this. I'm also a tribally enrolled Native American. So they're like, yeah, come on in. I'm going to hook you up with the most debt I could ever find. Where can I find some debt for this woman? I promise you, it's a racket. But the people who could fix things are old. So now we're stuck in this place of the people who could fix these houses, the people who could fix these roofs, the people who could fix the plumbing, the people who could fix the road are older. And they don't have to go. They're like, I'm thinking about retiring. I don't have to fix a damn thing. Right now in North Carolina, I have a family member. They're in their 50s. They've already asked them, would you like to come help fix the road for $50 an hour? I said, $50 an hour? They've always made $30 an hour on city contracts. And they're like, but we can give you $50 an hour because it's going to take us all the way to September 2025 to fix them roads in the mountains. I don't think y'all understand. If you have skills, you'll get paid. Driving a forklift, moving things from a box to another spot in the box without dropping it. Is not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about, can you fix pipes? Can you fix electricity? Can you fix lines? Can you climb a ladder? What is one of the highest paid jobs right now in Houston and past Houston, Beaumont, and all those places? Are you a fit enough young man to climb the ladder at the oil refinery over there? You make big money. O'Neill's talked about this for years, how he was 20-something years old, 21 years old, making like the equivalent of, I'll just say nicely, $56 an hour, which is engineer pay. Okay, engineer pay to climb the ladder because there were so many men who are so fat and out of shape and couldn't climb the ladder. You're hooked to a harness system and you're climbing. And they weighted you on a scale. Ask O'Neill about this. Don't be like, Erica, you don't know anything about that. Listen. It's one of the highest paid jobs. When they're short, they pay you more. On average, you get paid less. You get paid 30 something. But when they're short, because the average man in America is overweight. I know y'all think it's just these women. These women's fat as fuck. No, the average man in America is overweight, is not in shape. So you have these people, ask the Army, they'll tell you the average American's out of shape. They can't even pass the PT test. They're making fat camps in the Army. So the oil refineries down here in Houston, where the food is delicious, and New Orleans, where the food is nice and greasy, they can't even find fit young men to get up the ladder. And this is one of those jobs they can't automate. They done did everything they can to automate it. And they're like, damn, we still need to put a harness on a person and make their ass get up a ladder. You're going to get paid for that. But how many people can do it? And I'm not talking about you climbing a few. I'm talking about you climbing stories. I'm talking about arm strength for real. I'm talking about, yeah, the harness can hold you. You can sit back for a second, but you got to keep climbing. Why do you think they're paying people who climb on top of those wind turbines $77,000 a year? And they're only doing it here and there because nobody wants to do it. Okay. So let me see some of y'all comments and I'm going to go through them. There's 397 people here. Skynet is being gracious tonight. Isn't that wonderful? Definitely hit the like button. Drop a 1 in the comments if you're enjoying the commentary. At the end of the day, I told my digital liberty warriors, make your content, make your digital stuff, make your homemade products. They can't take that from you. I have actual private label stuff brands coming from Mexico, not China, because I didn't want to deal with any of the China S. Also, if you're in there, I've told you, we focus on our first product. We need to ship it via air. We don't ship it on the ships. We ship it via air to miss this silly mess that's going on right now. So there's ways around this. There's money to be made. This is fourth quarter. It's not too late. I think the live we're doing next week inside the group, I'm going to tell you all the ways. Get this digital money, because guess what? Moms are home right now. I can't believe those longshoremen. And when they heard it, they ran to the store, they got toilet tissue. Now people say, Erica, why are people buying toilet tissue? It's made in America. Toilet tissue is a visual representation of excess. Okay, now hear me out. They see these shelves full of toilet tissue. It looks nice in design, right? Because the way Costco shapes it out, the way the grocery store makes it look like they have a lot of inventory, they don't. They got everything they got out. So when it's gone, it's gone. Everything the soap they have is gone. Multiple things are gone, but what you hear in the news is the toilet tissue. Instead of telling you, yeah, we're short on meat, we're short on a lot of products. We're running out of a lot of stuff. Okay, so let me go ahead and see your stuff here. It's hard to feel bad for these workers when they rejected a 50% rate. They want 77%. Here comes AI. I hope they've been saving up, baby. They haven't. I'm telling you, listen, go watch the movie Margin Call. Diamond Dave told us about it a couple weeks ago. I watched it again, and I was like, the dude sit here telling you they made $1 million to $2 million in a year, and they even ran through all their money because it's a mindset that it'll never end. That money is unlimited. No matter how much a person makes, if they're not used to that amount of money, they'll always do that. The first year I made $350K, I was like, oh my God. I literally was like, all the training, all the knowledge, all the Erica Williams, we're going to invest and be smart. I wanted to be like, let's go party. Let's blow it on. Never mind none of your business. I literally was like, wait, stop. You better go buy some assets immediately. Even now, when I watched the Shannon Sharp clip where he was talking to Mark, the guy who owned the Mavericks, when he's talking to him from Shark Tank, and he was saying he told his advisor, hey man, I want to put $300,000 down because I just signed with the Baltimore Ravens and I have a surplus of money. I want to put it on Google. And he said, okay, Google opens up at $85 at the opening. Now, when Google opened up, it was $115. His advisor told him, oh, it's oversold. Wait till it comes down. Listen to me and listen to me now. If you ever come into a lump sum of money and you want to invest in stock like that, like an opening, research, educate yourself for sure, but put it in there, right? Because Shannon Sharp would be a billionaire. And people are like, oh, he doing all right. Look how he doing now. Baby, there's no comparison when you can get to this stock money. This stock money, this government, like I can't even tell y'all, one of our friends we know is applying for a $50 million government contract and is probably going to get it. It's different level. It's not, I feel good and I ride on a boat sometime money. It's not, I ride in nice planes and I ride first class. It's different level money. You're in the room with absolutely different type of people. Absolutely different. Like here in Austin, there's a group I want to go to the group just for the 2-day meetup of the group. It's basically a mastermind. It's $5,000. They ain't even telling you who all there. They ain't even told you the location. But you're meeting people who are here in Austin who literally have companies that make 30 to 40 million a year. Easy money making it. And you're sitting in the room with each other. I'm just telling y'all, like, they ain't even asking, like, when it's $5,000 before I even tell you anything. Come on. It's different level money and different conversation. Thank you for joining. What's up, new YouTube member? You already know Dr. Nick somewhere laughing. Automation. They only delayed the inevitable. Port owners should have had automation ready to roll out by January 15th. Baby, that automation is already years in the making. Okay. There's 429 people here. Hit the like button. Tell me where you from. Tell me, is the port near you closed? Put it in the comments. Y'all been telling people this was coming since 2017. Erica, I've been talking about this since February 2021. The workers, like the auto workers, have sealed their fate. Let me tell you, 50% of Americans are not invested in physical assets or paper assets. One of the things they're selling you right now on this internet, and it's the damn shame, is, hey, people who had a house in Austin, in Florida, I'll just use Austin first. Oh, their house values went up. I wanted to go buy a house in February 2020. It was $248,000. That same house by the end of the year was $500,000, and it was a starter home. And I was like, ugh, gross. Some of the other houses in these areas, they're up to $700,000, right? That I would like. And they go, oh, look, the house prices are crashing. I go, what's the price of those houses now? Well, see, this other house, this starter home that was $250, now is $400. See, it came down. It came down $100,000. See how we crashed? The economy crashed. See, this house that was $700,000 now is $610. I took $90,000 off. See how I saved money, y'all? That's that's no difference. The interest rate still makes the loan a bad loan. Ben Mala is online every day telling you how he's dropping these properties. Why? Because he saw the writing on the wall. Y'all don't understand. When you own assets, it isn't real money till you sell. It isn't real money till you take equity out. And there's a bunch of people right here in Austin. I'm telling you, I'm going to the happy hours, I'm going to Mixers. They took $150,000 equity out their house, and they're like, what can I put it in? This is how you're meeting people in Texas who have 2 homes, 3 homes. This is why when people say, oh, I moved to Texas, but I didn't like it, I moved somewhere else. The money they made off selling their home is how they got to the next location. I literally know a person who had $200,000 equity selling their home, and they just moved to Dallas to live in a nice, even bigger neighborhood. Crazy. And you're like, why didn't you keep it? Oh, I didn't feel like renting it. And I didn't feel like doing cash out equity. The money's out here. But if you're one of those 50% of Americans who have no assets, have no house, you got a bunch of cars, that don't count, right? If you have no assets, you're in an economy that is based on assets. How many assets do you have? You ain't. Sorry. Tampa St. Pete. Listen, I'm just telling y'all. Thank you so much, Salute. Thank you for the super chat. They are there for the whole day to make that amount. No one gives a shit. Let me be very clear. I think y'all really believe people care that y'all out there all day when you make $150,000 to $200,000 a year. What do you think the guy that works at Walmart's doing? What do you think the Chipotle manager that makes $92,000 a year is doing to make $92,000 a year? I want y'all to be very clear. Here in Austin and parts of Houston, when people start making a certain amount of money with their online businesses, and they're like, oh, I don't want any employees, they're basically creating a check. They go, you know what? I'll take $60K less a year and just give it to somebody and let them do all the work I don't want to do. That's literally what it is. I'm trying to break it down to bare bones basics. Procurement officer. I don't know if y'all watched yesterday's video with Eric Coffey. When I told y'all I hired a woman and I had her working at my office, and she literally watched Eric Coffey videos, and from watching the video, she became a procurement officer. So all she does all day, and she does it from home now, is apply for people government contracts, and they pay her. They get 2 choices. They can give her $3,000 a month up front, or she makes 3.5% off the deal when it gets through. Now you're gonna say, well, I'm gonna pay her off the backside. I'm gonna pay her on the back. Now you got to still give her about $1,000 a month, and she'll take the back deal. But pay attention. If I get a government contract that's $10 million, and the wiggle room money that's in my pocket might be, let's say it's $1 million. No, let me give it a little bit less. Let me say it's $500,000. Right? I got the $10 million contract, but I got $500,000 coming to my pocket. That's straight profits for doing the job. Right? She gonna get 3% of the gross, not the net. So you don't want to play that game. You can't play that game. You can't afford to play that game. So most people are like, I'm gonna just cut you your $3,000 up front. Because now I know all day this is what you're doing. You're online applying all day long. Now you're gonna say, well, she has to do that all day. She has to do that all day to get that money. Every day, all day, reading, applying for those jobs. Somebody pay you $3,000 a month. You better show them where you apply for 30 government contracts a month. 30 minimum. Everyone every day. At least 1, 2, 3 every day. I know 2 black men who are in their 50s. That's how they make their money in Virginia. They live very nice. They're procurement officers. They get up, they read it, and they fill out this every day for multiple people. It's so much slush money. That's how they're doing it. So to say, well, they got to be there all day to make that. You drive a forklift. You'd be making $14 an hour in a warehouse. We don't care. We don't care. You have to be there all day to drive the forklift to make that money. Let's be very clear. We don't. I think y'all don't understand that part. That's the part where people are very, oh my God, Erica, you're mean. You're mean, Erica. Go look up right now on Indeed how much it would make to be a forklift driver. Now, if you say, Erica, no, I'm not a forklift driver. I'm a crane operator. Bigger money. Yes. That I could hear. I could hear a little bit more from you. But a forklift driver? Man, if you don't get out of here. I'm from Savannah. Okay, yeah. You're in a port. You're in a town where you're going to know. But I promise y'all, when I go around, I say my mom was in the military, I'll have random white people say, was she a cook? Hell no, man. She had this job, that job. She was investigating crime. She had 4 different MOSs over her career. They're like, wow, I didn't know the military did that. My friend's mom was a dentist in the military. And people are like, what does your mom do? Is she a cook? My friend would go off on you. She would snap on people. She's like, my mom's a fucking dentist. And now she owns a private practice. Because her mom was wealthier than everyone we ever knew. Her mom had a private practice the day she retired out of the military. The practice opened, and guess what? Everybody was like, oh, I'm going over to her mom's place. She had gangbusters in the lobby. I'm telling you, when I go back to Fayetteville, her mom lived in $1 million house across town. Fresh out the military. Fresh out the military. She was on her second husband. Okay? And he was good looking. Okay? So I just want you to understand, like the kind of tropes of government employees making all this money, it's a real thing. If they play it right, if they study right, because there's so much opportunity. Again, Aristotle Investments. Y'all see him online. You think, oh man, how did this young man make all this money? He's only 28. Or he might be 30 by now. He was in the military as a tech person. See, he was already going to make the money. I have on Tech Tuesday, one of my oldest videos is where I interviewed a young lady who literally left the Air Force, made 120 at her first job offer. See, when y'all try to convince people, oh, I knew what that was. I knew what their jobs are. I know how much they make money. No, you didn't. The average person did not know, because the average person knows this many jobs. This many. That's why when you go to college and they ask you what you want to be, I don't know. When they ask you at the community college, when you pull out a community college, you start flipping through and people are like, what is that? They've never heard of those jobs before, because they haven't. You only needed a diploma or GED. Listen, there are many skilled autodidact men who can read, can develop, can build, can do amazing things with just a GED and a diploma. But let me tell you, you got to have skill. It's in your hands or it's in your mind. You got to show that you have skill. They ain't trying to hear that. The ports, trains, and truck drivers can bring America to a standstill. Those are 3 industries that must keep moving. Let me tell you right now, when I told Uncut Underground did a great part of their video, the first 2 hours. I didn't watch after that. After that, I'm like, I got life to live. Okay. When he was reading the comments and showing the video from the daggone union boss, I was laughing. I was like, this guy's a joke. This guy is a joke. Okay. Part of what I want y'all to understand is the truck driving system, way we move water, the way we move medicine, the way we move it, they have to keep moving. When people told me they were striking, I said, it don't matter, because right now at Baltimore Port, I know they beat up the trash man. The trash man came to pick the trash up and they beat him up thinking he was working. They have companies. Right on top of my head, there's 3 trucking companies right now. If you go work for them, all they do is bust up strikes all over America. There's strikes happening all the time. You don't hear about it. There's strikes happening. There are 3 big trucking companies. All they do is say, hey, brother, you want to make $2K a week? And you're like, heck yeah, as a truck driver, give me $2K a week. You're going to go through this strike line. When California was going to strike because the bill was saying they all had to be employees instead of 1099, which is wrong. They already had hundreds of trucks lined up to go across state line. They were like, yeah, they striking, but come on, do you want to make this $2K a week? And someone who's hungry, someone who's ready to work, they're going to take it. When you have companies who do strikes, they already have companies that have staffing agencies that bring in staff. And I'm going to say this in the nicest way. They bring them in from Alabama, they bring them in from Florida, and they bring them in from West Virginia to come work. You're not going to tell somebody from West Virginia and Florida, why are you here working? I can't believe you. Shame on you. Baby, I'm here for the money. Just the way they doing right now in North Carolina. And they saying, hey, you want to come fix this road for $50 an hour? And all you got to do is drive this truck and dump this stuff. Real careful. Just come in and out and dump this stuff for $50 an hour. Engineer pay. Engineer pay. Let's be really clear. Went to school for years. Engineer pay. Yes, they're going to do it. Why? Because they're not skilled to do anything else. I don't think y'all understand. A lot of these people don't have high level skill. They hit a lick, but they're not smart enough to know, let me take every excess dollar instead of buying the newest pickup truck, the newest boat, the newest gear, take my wife on too many vacations. I need to take I need to squeeze about 30K a year out of this money and drop it in an investment. They have not been educated for that. That's why they're going the way of the dodo. It just is what it is. The one Alabama guy, AL guy, said he'd been a longshoreman for 35 years. If you've been a longshoreman for 35 years, baby, you should have a paid off house. You should have multiple paid off cars. You should have assets. That road is done. Your back is done. Oh, hey, Ray, listen. Send this to me in an email at admin.classyclimbtx.com. I will dissect this for you. American War of 1812. Send this to admin@classyclimbtx.com. I will go into this in a different time frame. But right now, I would even say the way they had Donald Trump looking at emergency plans, and he's out there responding to the emergency, and Kamala's at a luncheon, and Joe Biden's nowhere to be found. Baby, I have a feeling the way gold's going up, I have a feeling we might see the red man again. We might see the orange man, which I call him the orange man again. Because really, it's how do we keep the people pacified? We just sent $500 million to Taiwan to keep the chips moving when we have actual places here that do the chips. One of the places that got hurt is Spruce Pine, North Carolina. And we'll go into that on another show, but all this stuff is not by accident. So 80% NYC, Bronx, Brooklyn are white. Possible. Big booty Betty. That's what they need. They need more cash to spend it on big booty Betties. The National Guard was sent in to return the ports for, oh yeah. They already know. We've already heard that. I don't want no smoke with them. But that has been out there. You know what I'm saying? He had 2 federal cases. Baby, he a talker then. You know what I'm saying? He on somebody's payroll. I'll just put it that way. The docks are mobbed up. Chinese ports run 24/7. It is what it is. I know 2 train conductors. They're black men in Florida. They own one owns 3 rental properties in Florida, one owns 4. And I'm talking about in Tampa. The other one owns it way near Hollywood, Florida. And they have hell of investments. So, the stuff that you don't hear about that's not promoted, the average man running around saying he can only make $40K a year. When you got longshoremen driving a forklift and making $150K off driving a forklift, I hate to say it to you, it's really no excuse. America throws money out the window. I have a friend here used to be a friend, not so much anymore, but he's a plumber and he's a young guy. He's very thin. He can't grow a beard, and guys used to make fun of him at job sites, and he would quit as a plumber. And he would say, well, they were harassing me. Now he's a little thin skinned, like he's very sensitive. But one time he was at a job, and he's a tall guy. He's almost 6 foot tall, and a bigger man threw him on the ground. And he just walked off the plumbing job, and the union had to pay him because he was like, I was preventing fighting on the job. Really, he just told us he was embarrassed that this man picked him up and threw him on the ground. He's a thin guy. He talks a lot of shit. He can't grow a beard. He looks very young in the face, but he'll just go from job to job. Like if you go look on his LinkedIn, he's had at least 15 plumbing jobs, and he's not even 33 yet. Where he will just show up, and the union's like, oh, they were discriminating against you. They were being mean to you. Yes, and I feel unsafe at work, so he gets to leave. I'm telling y'all, that's why nobody likes the union. They like, okay. That's why the biggest strike in Texas against the union is if you got 1,000 hours working under a certified plumber in Texas, you can call yourself a plumber now. As long as you're in process of getting your stuff, your certification, you can go do plumb work. They are busting up that plumbing union as we speak. Honey, they don't think they can stop it. I think what they're doing is this is the last fat check. This is that fat check payout before the door closes, right? This that give me the most money I can make for the next 3 years. Because honestly, if you told me I'm a 50-something-year-old man and it's the last 3 years I got to make big fat money, I'm paying off my house. I'm paying off the car I want. Or I'm going to go get the car I want and go pay it off. I'm also going to go do some, whatever the last stuff I really want to do. Right? Because retirement I don't know what that's going to look like. Because a lot of these men are going to retire and they go right back to work. You already know. You know those parking lots full of ramp. Listen, full of them. 250s, all of it. It's like toll workers. They make very good money back in the day. When Easy Pass came along, that job went poof, 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 gone. Listen, when I left Austin Airport one time, I didn't have enough money, and a little Hispanic lady, I didn't have it on my cards. I didn't have half my clothes weren't there. They wanted to send me my bag, so I'm trying to go out the airport. I'm like, ma'am, all I got is $48 in cash in my pocket. And the little Hispanic lady in the little booth in the airport took a day off and said, okay, bye. I said, thank you, lady. Now you can't even talk to somebody. You go there, it's just a machine. And if you don't have the exact amount of money, like I was like, I don't have exact cash. The lady was like, go to the end. And she drove up on a golf cart from some office where they watch you. And she was like, give me the money. She went into the booth. In the same booth that supposedly there's nobody need to be in there. Went in the cash register, typed it in, and gave me give me my change back. So the booth still there's one booth left on the end. If you're at the Austin airport, if you ever leave through the airport parking, it's one booth left and it has cash in it. And it's like the bulletproof vest. It's thick. The glass is thick. They keep that 1 or 2 people on watching the camera, making sure you don't run the thing. That's what they do. I bet that old lady made good money at the airport because she was there. It was like 11:30 at night. I was on the last flights. I was like, all I got was in my pocket, ma'am. I don't have no more money. It's gone. 24-hour increase over 6 years. There are people in America right now making $24 an hour. Do you think when they called around and doing the poll for the longshoremen, you think them people was like, yeah, them longshoremen, they deserve more money? Them polls went terrible. They polled so badly. They were like, close the strike up. Close the strike up. Nick, the election. See, we don't have a time like when Ronald Reagan, because people bring this up. Ronald Reagan, the country was struggling. We just finished the embargo. Gas prices were crazy. Stuff was going through the roof. And the longshoremen were like, we're going to strike. Ronald Reagan said, you're all fired. You're all fired. Every single one of you fired today. And I ain't playing. And they brought in other people. That's why the union has its appeal. You know what I'm saying? It has an appeal, like they can't fire us. But everybody I know that works for a union is sorry as hell. I've never met a man that I'm like, damn, he a hardworking ass man. He got extra jobs. He doing stuff at night. He doing all this stuff that works in the union. Never met him. Never. Never. Y'all think I'm never. You know, you're like, my uncle is in the union. Is your uncle look like a hardworking man? Okay. Industrious, very smart. Leave it there. I'll leave it there. Union boss. Listen, the union boss makes more than that. Because you're not talking about bonuses. People, the union boss made $1 million a year, and he's telling you he's sitting here with 2,000 Cartier glasses on his face. What they call them in Michigan, where they used to rob people for them glasses in Detroit, and a gold chain, heavy gold chain on his neck, talking like he's a wrestler with a Rolex on, in the picket line with a Rolex on, telling y'all we got to strike. I'm standing up for the little guy. How many percent, when we talk, especially African Americans, get to crying online? Only 2% of African Americans make $100K a year, Erica. You don't understand. Listen, we're talking about longshoremen who drive a forklift. We're talking about nurses. We're talking about teachers in parts of New York making $100K a year. Well, only 10% of black people can do that. Blah, 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 blah. Only 10% of Americans make $100K. We've demonized people who make a high income. So when they ask people, do you think the longshoremen should make more money? Oh, yes, they should. Well, you know, they make 120 a year, 150 a year on average. A lot of them make 200K. Oh, hell no. Get them up out of here. We are sitting here saying, well, Kamala's not going to hurt the little guy. She's only going to tax people making over 250K. That's your longshoreman in New York now. He's going to get that tax. So when y'all be like, they be on Facebook complaining about taxes, because they're the people getting taxed, because they're not investing this money. They're putting this money into Carnival cruises, big booty titty betties, tipping people, going to Hooters, driving F-250s, the gas money for that. They're not investing this money. So they're not getting tax breaks. This imaginary tax breaks you think people are getting when they don't know how to invest this money. That's not happening. Oh, honey, it's not even about wanting to cancel Christmas. They're not going to let them. These companies make too much money in the fourth quarter. Please. Come on. Shh. TSA works the ports. The average TSA person don't make no money. But the people at the ports do. They say they always tell you automation will stop shrinkage. I never believe it. The only reason I don't believe that is there's always some way for people to get a 5-finger discount. Somewhere, somehow, somebody's always going to find one. Always. Always. Come on. The fourth quarter is where construction has the most injuries. Come on, you already know what I'm telling y'all. It's 531 people here. Hit the like button, throw a 1 in the comments. You know, when Skynet lets me come through and actually do a show, congratulations. All right? Because right now I've completely started just funneling all my energy and focus into the Digital Liberty Warriors group. And I'm showing them how to make products, get online, have some online brands. You know, if you got 5 to 10, maybe 2 or 3 private label products over there on Amazon, you're going to make bank. And I've shown you multiple examples of people that we consider famous in real estate and stuff. They're dropping products on Amazon. They're dropping products, physical products for people to buy. Right? Just telling you. I wouldn't be surprised if the Jimmy Hoffa guy was getting a cut of those special containers. Listen. All kind of stuff coming through that port. John Gotti's son is the oldest 30-something-year-old I've ever seen in my life. He looks 56 years old. And he literally just got caught getting COVID relief money. And he already, shook his hands and already did the plea deal. But trust me, up north, y'all be shaking that money. That too. Oh, you ain't working hard? New batch of people coming in. And here's a part that I meant to say. Why are so many people, when people say, oh, people know about job tracker, they really don't. And it's because what happens is we have a lot of movement of Americans right now. If you pay attention to how they're talking about the Midwest, they're trying to, like when they had Tim Waltz up there saying, well, Minnesota has all these hospitals and all this great stuff. Their downtown is destroyed. A lot of these Midwest places look like a war zone. They look horrible. But the average person spends most of their days in the suburbs, so they don't care. Same thing with Detroit. The average person spends most of their day far away, 30 minutes away from Detroit in a suburb, so they don't care. But that's the problem. That's why all these companies are coming south. That's why people are moving. And that's why when you hear all these bad news about North Carolina and Texas and Tennessee, I feel like it's a play to get you to don't move. Don't millions of y'all move, because we can't control where people are moving. See, if you look at the IRS stats, the average person, 88% of people live 1 hour from their mother. And the closer on the data, the closer you live to your mother, the lower your income. And who does that affect and hurt most when they do the study? It's women, because on average, women live the closest to their mother and usually are the home caretakers, right? So when they already show you, they got the data, the numbers are there. So when you have people going, I'm going to move an hour away from, I'm going to move all the way to Texas, I'm going to move all the way to Florida, they got you online believing Californians are moving back. No, the data does not show California folks are moving back. New people are moving to California for jobs. The average company is offering jobs to people outside of California to bring them into California. Okay. The average person that came here to Austin, Texas, and they said, Austin's okay, but I don't want to be here. I want to go to Dallas. Is a bigger city because I'm from California. The average person from Los Angeles and bigger cities in California went to Dallas, Texas. They didn't move back to California. What they did is they came to Austin, they moved to Dallas. Then if they didn't like Dallas enough, they moved to Nashville, Tennessee. The data shows it. If they were in Florida, they didn't like Florida much, they moved to South Carolina. They had over 150,000 people move from Ohio to South Carolina. You're talking about 150,000 people. Now, you're not even adding their husbands, their wives, their children, their grandchildren. When they show you all these data and studies that the average person up north child is applying to a college in the South, people are online saying the college in the South are stupid. They're dumb. Disregarding Duke. There are 4 or 5 Dukes in the South. In Alabama, Birmingham specifically, in Hoover, Alabama, there is a college. They call it the Duke of the South. If somebody look it up, I'll tell you which one it was. When I was down there with the Red Cross, I would meet people from there, and they were wealthy from New York all the way down in Alabama at this college. But they want to convince you living in New York is the best highlight of your life. Living in New Jersey, Connecticut, New Hampshire, Maine, it's the best of your life, when every data point shows it's not. Are they beautiful places? Yes, I would love to go to some Maine lobsters in the summer next year. Totally on my list. I want to go back to Burlington and drive around there and all that good stuff. But they're showing you the data. These people are leaving. They're moving around. And why is this important when they move around like this? They get to see new jobs, new opportunities, new stuff. Only people who are lazy, they come from New York, they go down to Atlanta and say, oh my God, these jobs only pay $12 an hour. No, the jobs you're applying to pay $12 an hour. They're still paying nurses, right? They're still paying engineers. They're still paying doctors. They're still paying lawyers. They're still paying every other skilled trade. You don't have skills. And that's what they're learning. That's what they're learning. So let me finish reading these comments, and I don't want to keep you out here too long. There was 597 people here at one point. Hit the like button, drop a 1 in the comments if you've enjoyed the commentary. I've tried hard to make it very engaging for you. Kevin, yes and no. There are always going to be jobs around that area that support the economy, because you got to think about it. At the port, where does that longshoreman live? Where does he pay taxes? The neighborhood he pays taxes in may take a hit, but not in general. Doing 3 data centers, Google, Facebook, Oracle. There you go. Let me see. I'm talking about big, crazy money. Big, crazy money. I mean, I'll talk about it more tomorrow probably, but $90 million contract for that lithium mining. You think nobody's talking about how the dam failed? See, it wasn't that, oh, these are lake towns. There's a ton of lake towns all in the western part of North Carolina. The dam was compromised. But okay. Yes, that's scary, yeah. Honey, listen. I I know apprentice linemen's laborers who are getting $49 an hour plus $150 per diem per day plus full bennies. I'm telling y'all. And so again, how many people can we get to get up on the line and play with electricity? How many young men are fit and able? Like, there was a video, I don't know if people have noticed it, the Adam apples. You haven't been seeing men with really big, heavy Adam's apples. And somebody brought it up, and they started doing all these viral videos on TikTok about it. And the doctor had to come out and say, yeah, because men's testosterone is lower. Right? When you see all those videos from the 1980s and everybody in their 20s looks 40 and they're huge and muscular and big playing basketball in the 1990s, people are like, they must be on steroids. No, they just had more testosterone than you. So you're in an environment where men have lower testosterone. You barely see their Adam's apples on average. And you want them to go climb on lines and play with electricity. And you want them to do plumbing. And you want them to do electrical. No, these men want to be in AC offices. No, I don't want to do that. I mean, talk to the average roofing company person. The person, if they're not Hispanic, or the roofing company is not a black-owned roofing company, on average, they have serious drug problems. Why? Because roofing, outdoor sales, solar, they are very forgiving to men who are on drugs. They will let you come in and do all kind of work. All kind of work. Yeah, you already know. You already know what time it is. They are paying nurse assistants in LA $15. Yikes. That's low. CNAs, traveling CNAs can make $100K a year if done correctly. They do. I ain't gonna go there. I'm just saying. That union boss, somebody came and talked to him. I'm certain of it. Nick Andrews. I'm like, that's still a win. Listen, I don't know if y'all ever watched the Crown. And again, I'm not an Anglophile. I'm not like England is the best, but I will say this, and this is offensive. I'm going to tell you what I know. Egypt and India were better under British rule. The women were safer, crime was less, the streets were clean, and people had dignity. Children weren't running around homeless and in poverty like they are now. Take that with a grain of salt. If you're from Egypt, you know that's true. If you're from India, why did all those people flee from India? Why are they continuing to flee from India? Because it's dangerous. A lot of people were hurt right after the British left. I'm talking about they took people out like they did in Cuba. Okay. The Crown in the TV show, they had phone operators working for the Queen. So you would call the Queen. It would go to this number. Then they would say, who is this? Then they would connect it to another person. They're like, who is this still? I have to talk to the Queen. It's emergency. Then they would connect it one more time. And then they would get on the phone with the Queen. Switchboard operators had big money because they literally had 100 of them just for the Queen. I think they had like 25 on record for the Queen because they had to make sure she was protected at all times. But then also they had to ring the different, like, have you seen the Buckingham Palace? There were phones all over that place. Because by the time you walked to one end to the other end, they could have called you and said, oh no, we have this happening. Do this. It was crazy. Yeah. I'm telling you, who are these people advising you? And there's a guy showing where on average 20% off the top these agents are taking. Now they're going into NLI areas and taking it from these young black kids, right? They're still talking about the young boy was going to get $1 million check and his coach didn't like the deal and didn't respond in time. So when the family found out 6 months later, they're like, you don't own our son. He's not a slave. We don't have to run the deals through you or this school. We're leaving this school. But every time you turn on the news, they're like, shame on these kids leaving these schools. These colleges and professors are blocking these kids for millions of dollars. They're being in between them. North Carolina just said if you're not at a private school, you can't get an LI. So what did that do? The lobbyists for the private schools made sure, hey, your son want to get some LI money? He real good, ain't he? Bring him on over here to his private school. Well, he don't like that school. Don't matter. He not going to get no money unless he's over there. I'm telling you, there's a lot of licensed people, putting a monkey wrench in things. The Fire Island manager, billionaire and Hampton millionaire. You already know. Yes, they did. They did strike in Houston. Because let's really go there. Let's really go there. It costs millions, if not billions of dollars to automate things. Most companies, your most expensive thing will be your employees. Right now, I know a lady who started up her office and she's trying to figure out, should I put 5 to 10 people in this office? Because kind of studies show the more people in the office, the more like the momentum, work is getting done. They kind of annoying each other. It's like a vibe. If you have 2, 3 in office, less work gets done. It's slower pace, more relaxed. When you get to 5 to 10 people in office, you got to find more work for everybody, but the push is stronger, right? So it's a conundrum. If we automate everything, and I'm gonna tell you this right now. I try to tell people this. Here in Texas, in San Antonio, they have a water plant. They bought one of these really expensive multi-millionaire machines to do loading the trucks. They have a warehouse to the left. It still does it with old-fashioned, with men, mostly black men, and Latino men driving forklifts and putting it in there. The machine, if it's off by a little bit, it will not load the water. It has to balance. So they're literally 3-hour waits. If you go to the one warehouse, there's less than 1 hour wait at the other warehouse where men are still on forklifts. So to some degree, them having physical labor there, pushing each other to move faster, get it done faster, is faster. Amazon's even seeing this. Amazon has warehouses where it's just robots, and the robots are efficient, but they're slow. The people are actually faster. So this is why when people say, why are they not already automated? Because it's slower. People, even though people are flawed and people cost money, and it's the first thing to cut when businesses have hard time, is people actually make businesses work faster. They just do. So that's why it's taking so long to automate. I wish the guys at BioLab in Atlanta went on strike forever, but they listen, if you in Atlanta right now, y'all over there creating The Walking Dead. I don't know what y'all doing with that daggone chlorine. Y'all gonna have some babies with some problems in a year. I hate to say that, but that's really true. Insurance adjusters, right? So again, people don't want to climb on ladders as insurance adjusters. They want to use drones. Older men don't want to learn how to use drones. I have a friend who works as an insurance adjuster. She said they had a class to train all the 40 plus men how to use the drone. Most weren't interested. I'll just climb on the ladder. It's faster. So when y'all sit here and tell people we should just automate, for what? The average person doesn't want to. They do. They do. And this is Skynet being Skynet. Not too big on networking, but my goal is to invade here. So it just depends on what's your, if you don't want to network with people, if you don't want to work with people, it just depends on what's your field, what you're trying to do, right? Because there's several people I know who are introverts and they have companies that make big money. They don't talk to people. It's all online. Not somebody in here begging for money. I deleted that person. Y'all got to be paying attention. Yup. Come on, that's what I'm telling you. When people sit here talking about they need to be paid, Erica, forklift is a $12 to $20 an hour job. I can teach you how to drive a forklift. I can teach you. I got taught years ago. I can teach you how to drive a forklift in 30 minutes. You can go to school. That's right, for free. With the security clearance, you can make 150 in GovTech. Facts on facts. Oh, thank you for the money. Let's see. I work in the government GA. Why am I saying government? GA Department of Revenue. We switched our phone system to AWS, and now the system generates a full summary of our call as soon as it ends. We are training AI to replace the call center agents. Woo! Georgia said, I'm tired. I'm tired of you, Sheila. Tired of you cutting up in here. You out of here. We're going to replace all the phone system. Baby, I'm telling y'all this. Right now, they pay people in Belize $11 an hour, and most of the people in Belize look like us, look like this, and speak English. And I'm telling you, like it's a very coveted job. Like I make $11 an hour in Belize. It's very high. It's very like ooh. Skills and relationships or nepotism won't get you paid real quick. Yeah. I work for a health insurance company, and our entire call system is switching to AI. Woo, baby. Baby. Plus, they will call on the National Guard to replace longshoremen because they have laws in place for case like this. The National Guard is lazy as hell. Let's just go there. I know too many National Guard people. They ain't in shape. They can't fit in their uniform. Shit, I could put their uniform on. I remember I was somewhere and we was getting a food discount. And she's like, are you National Guard? And my friend said, she said that because you chubby. I said, shut your damn mouth. But it's true. When you see people say, we're calling in the National Guard, baby, they calling somebody look like me that's going to squeeze in the uniform just enough and come out there and do bare minimum. I'm so sorry. I'll just being honest. Take a picture of a National Guard person. Go Google National Guard, and they're going to show you all kind of pictures, okay? Port workers don't, let's be very clear. I didn't say port workers. I said longshoremen. Longshoremen, if you have the official title. If you're the guy working at the guard gate, are you a port worker? Yes, you are a port worker, but you are not guaranteed to these raises. These raises are for people labeled as longshoremen and job titles of longshoremen. If you want to come in and play that game, Aaron, we can play it. But if you're a guard gate at the port, are you officially a port worker? Yes, but you are not a longshoreman. You are not. That is not your title. That is not your designation. Okay. If you clean trash at the port, are you a longshoreman? No, you are not. You are a trash man that works at the port. You are a janitor. When you want to play the word game, we can play it, but I want you to be very clear. In Baltimore, they beat up a trash man who was literally driving his truck to pick up the trash because they thought he was a worker busting the strike line. The white man bleeding all on camera on TV like, I just was coming to pick up the trash. Because he's not a longshoreman. He's not involved in port business. He's a trash man. He picks up trash. His title is trash collector. His title is not longshoreman. Is he a part of the union? No, because he's a trash man. Does he work at the port? Yes. Like, don't make me have to read it down like we're 5 years old. We're not 5 years old. Everybody here with 2 brain cells knows when I'm talking about longshoremen, I'm not talking about the guy who's a gate guard. I'm not talking about the security guard with a gun on his hip, because you can't actually wear a gun at the port. And some of them you can. But if you're active security with armed license criteria, we're not talking about those guys. They aren't protected. So yeah, your cousin may work at the port as a security guard. He's not getting a pay raise. Let's not act like we don't understand that. Come on now. You know better. Come on now. Come on. Get out of here with that. You know better. Come on. 2 longshoremen, live lavishly. They live lavishly. The average construction and roofing company guy has a big old truck, 2 or 3 of them. Okay. Goes to the auction, get about 3 Ford F-150s at a time, lives great. I told somebody the other day, only reason I considered a certain industry, even though I wasn't going to be doing any of the work, I was going to have all the staff doing that work, I was going to have a CEO over, operations manager over it, is because they live big. Because they get a lot of discounts, they get a lot of breaks, the bank gives them a lot of money. The recycling people in my neighborhood have been on strike since Labor Day. There were other contractors lined up and they've been picking up our stuff for the last 4 weeks. There are companies that do this every day. Charles, again, what did I just say? I know this has been a minute since you posted this, but let's use our brains. Everybody's not that title. We can't even breathe in Atlanta. I know. Charles, you know I still don't feel bad for him. Yeah, it's 15 plumbing jobs. I'm telling you, like, and he's a great looking guy. He looks really young. I mean, honestly, if you walked up on this guy, you would think he was 18 years old. He's 33. He just looks so young. But he's basically said men bully him at jobs. He do all this stuff. So that's why he joined the union, because he's like, I don't have to work under these conditions. And he'll quit with a heartbeat. Master plumbers are kings. Hell yeah. I don't think if enough disasters happen, people really stop caring. In Atlanta, we just want to breathe properly. But that comes with planning. Your city planning in Atlanta is what's messed up. And let's be honest, y'all don't want to hear it, but all these black men want to be rappers and musicians and podcasters instead of being plumbers when Atlanta needs new drain systems is boggling to me. Boggling. Like, if you're a man and you're not a plumber in Atlanta, or you're not in some type of construction, baby, I don't know what you're doing. You got to show me what you doing makes money. Because the data says y'all not making no money. It's saying y'all making under 60K a year and making under 40 in Atlanta. That's dangerous business. Come on, listen, I told you the data on the paper. I wrote it down. The average longshoreman dies at 62 to 40 years old to 64 years old from a stroke. From a stroke. Okay? And we know strokes are caused by diet, stress, all that stuff. The average age of a longshoreman right now is 39 years old. Only in New York is the average age of the longshoreman 55 years old. This strike is not about the guy who's 30 in Mobile, Alabama working at the longshore. It's not him. My daughter got her BA but decided to become a train conductor, and she's working on becoming an engineer. She also bought her first investment property. Congratulations. Baby, Bowen too busy knocking people off. Good luck on that. For sure. It's funny how people that don't work at ports feel like what they're getting paid is enough and they don't need more for all that deadly work they do. Sad how y'all, again, this is people's feelings. People literally tell you, I drive a forklift, I move heavy boxes from left to right. I should get paid for forklift driving. Look at this. This is real people. They're telling you. The guard gate that works at the port that opens the gate to make sure the trucks come in and out. I'm going to tell you right now, in Fayetteville, North Carolina, there's a place called Springfield Tires. People die every year at the tire manufacturer, usually from employee error. And so those people that work at the tire plant, they're making tires, it smells, it's horrible, it's hot in there. They're making $80K a year plus, $80K to $100K. It's a very luxurious job, and they had pensions. People still say they need to make more, and they're making tires. This is how out of touch with reality people are. Right here, read what he's saying. Oh, you don't know because you don't work at the port. Nigga, you're driving a forklift. You're moving boxes. This is Tetris. This is why they will automate, because of thoughts like this. Pay them even more. Pay them $200,000. Shit, pay them $300,000. They're not a medical doctor. They didn't do 18 years of school, but they're moving heavy boxes. Look right here. I want y'all to look at this stuff. This is what they're telling you. They need to be paid because they move heavy boxes and people die. People die at the Amazon warehouse. One of the Amazon warehouse in Fayetteville, North Carolina had 3 different guys knock their own head off. Driving the forklift, sticking their head off the side of the forklift and got hit and knocked off. 3 different guys in a 2-year window. But you won't hear about that because some guy right here thinks they need to be paid $200,000 because they driving a forklift and moving boxes. And this is why America suffers. People like this that have not woke up that since GM is no more. We're not even making washers and dryers in our own country. Because people like this think I'm making a washer and dryer. I need to make $150K a year. This is why, right here. Read this stuff. This is how people really feel, y'all. I want y'all to understand. I want y'all to understand. This is what people think. Come on. When I was a longshoreman, I worked nights and top pay was $59 an hour. $59 an hour is engineer pay. You are telling me a person who worked and just got a GED and they're moving heavy boxes around should get the pay of an engineer who's been to school for years and paid hundreds of thousands for their degree. Look, y'all, this is how people really feel. They're telling you. They're telling you they really believe that they deserve that money. Pay attention. This is how you know financial education is desperately needed in our country. Because these guys have to understand they want to make this kind of money. They won't invest a dime. Their back will be busted in 2-3 years and they won't make another job. They'll never have another job, pay them $59. They're going to come out here in Indeed and say, I was a longshoreman. What can I do now? And they're going to type in forklift operator. And the machine's going to tell them, you want $20 an hour? And they're going to be insulted. There's a man, I'm going to do an article on it tomorrow. I'm going to do a video on it. He was a stockbroker, right? He went and got his MBA. He hasn't worked in 10 years. He's made so much money off the stock market from what he learned at his job. He hasn't had a job in 10 years. Now he's like, oh, I'm in California. It's getting really expensive. I need a job. No one will hire me. I haven't had a job in 9 years. He's been making $150,000 off the stock market for 9 years, but yet he is still saying, I should be able to get a job. Making equivalent. This is how out of touch with reality people are, y'all. They don't want to own the company. They don't want to put any money in insurance and risk it for themselves, but they want to be paid. Welcome to America, y'all. When I got to Austin Airport, I kissed the ground during the 2009 recession. Stop. Stop. Come on, man. They be lazy, Tam. They so fucking lazy. It's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. Exactly. California is the epitome of every single law that can be. They're literally, Gavin Newsom was trying to put a law in that y'all not gonna make memes on him because the average person is so low information diet. The only way they were learning about the news is via memes and going, what is this meme about that keeps going on the internet? Let me Google and research. So now Gavin Newsom's like, you can't make memes on me or Kamala. That's against the law. That's censorship. Because they realize the average person is so low information, they don't know how much jobs pay. They don't know how much stuff is. They're like this, walking around all day. They're NPC character. They're going to treat them dock workers the same as respiration dogs. You already know. I will cripple you. Man, he was walking around threatening. It's crazy. The union boss makes $900,000 a year. Charles, go look this up. The union boss that is on TV talking, he makes $900,000 a year, and that's before bonuses. You're talking about a local union boss, a regional union boss. They make more than that. These are CEO-related C-suite positions. That's why it's so comical how he's talking, because you're talking about a guy who would usually be in suits and ties talking like he's a wrestler. He's been in the union since 1960s. This man's paid and caked off paid. Get out of here. Only the port of New Orleans stopped. Ships of grain and petroleum are still coming in and out of all the other ports. Up to Baton Rouge, it was staged. Okay, possible. Houston stopped, but I'm gonna leave it alone. I worked at the toll road here in Richmond, VA up to April. This year, April, and I got let go. Yes, they're headed towards automation. But y'all had to know that. Y'all had to know. Get the likes up. Here we go. Look up straddle carrier. It is a machine you have to drive 50 feet in the air. Is dangerous. So are these crane operators here in downtown Austin, Texas, they're up in the air. Same as the oil rig, same as the oil refinery in Beaumont and parts of Houston. These guys get paid. We're not saying the guy who's a straddle carrier shouldn't get paid. That's not what we're saying. Should he get paid $500,000 a year? What's the number? Where does it stop? This is where the stuff gets kind of like, this is where y'all lose people. This is where the average American has no respect, because they will not respect the guy who cannot explain to me why I need to pay you $500,000 a year. This is almost like I need to be paid $1 million because I straddled in the sky. Okay, don't do it. Go put Louise over it. Get out the sky. Go do somebody else to it. Unions exist to keep black employees. They show you, there's a show he used to talk about, you can't believe it. It was a segment called You Can't Believe This or something. And the guy he had the big mustache like John Walsh or something. He looked like that, but older. And he would talk about how New York had teachers unions. And the teachers were making $120K a year, but they weren't in a classroom because they either slept with a student, they did inappropriate sexual things, they were doing weird stuff, and they would just sit them in a room because the school could not fire them because they were in the union. So you have teachers making $120 in New York, inappropriate, taking photos of students, all kind of crazy, but because they're in the union, they can't be fired. Unions exist to keep bad workers. Unions don't just exist to protect you from danger. Get out of here, man. Get out of here. Yeah, listen. Walmart and Target have closed down a lot of their self-checkout stuff. Target is going to hire 100,000 people this Christmas because they want to have that good PR. Here it is. Here it is. Listen, here it is. Again, it doesn't matter what they do with their money. It doesn't matter if they spend every dollar on strippers and they have no health benefits. These are the people who think we should pay into affinity. We should pay $500,000 for a guy to drive a forklift and move a big box from one side of the road to the other. This is the thought. It doesn't matter how they spend their money. Shut up. It does. These are the same Americans who will cry and say, why don't we have a pension when you've made over $1 million, $3 million, $4 million, $5 million over the course of your life and never invested a dollar? I don't care. And this is why the longshoremen, when they polled people, had lost faith. No one cared. Once they found out they make how much, they're in the top 1% of American pay, and they're crying about it. Out of here. Get the fuck out of here. Nobody cares. This is what people don't want to hear. This is the truth. This is the truth. Once y'all sit here, it doesn't matter what they do with their money. This is the lack of accountability. This is someone telling you, I want to make $200,000 a year. When I'm done, automation takes my job. I want you to find me another job that pays me $200K a year for doing barely anything. And if it doesn't, America's a scam. America's terrible. I want to be out of here. That's what you're looking at. You're looking at lack of accountability. These are the kids who graduated 18 with just their diploma. They never reinvested in themselves, took a class, took a course, did anything. I should be able to spend my money on titties and hookers, and you can't tell me what to do, Erica. It's my damn life. But when the recession hits, help. We've seen this play before. We know it. I remember working in a call center back in the day, having to tell customers they can go online. Woof. Come on, man. Come on, listen. Again, pay me. You already know what it is. You already know what it is. I became a police officer. Now I make 38 hour in 2 more years. I hit my 11th year. I'll be making 46 per hour. With their promotion, I can make 56 to 65 an hour. And he's a police officer. But you'll hear the longshoreman tell you, I need to make $100 an hour because I'm moving boxes. He's a police officer. He's going to be hand combating somebody for a traffic ticket. He's going to be fighting a naked homeless person at least once in their career. And that's how much they're making. Again, this is where people, they sound crazy. And you can't win us like that. It's literally It's literally when you start doing the math. What? Brian, we're not saying it's not a dangerous job. We're not saying it's just forklift operators. We're not saying they don't pick up skid skiers. We're not saying they don't drive a truck and move it from piece to piece. But I promise you, you telling somebody, I work in the rain. You lost them, Brian. The garbage man works in the rain. The tow truck driver works in the rain. The semi truck driver works in the rain. All these other guys work in the rain. The construction people work at night on the highway where people are driving 90 miles an hour past them. That's dangerous. The firefighter climbs into a building on fire. That's dangerous. We don't sit here and say, you know what, because your job is dangerous, you should make $250,000 a year. No questions. No questions. Again, I just want y'all to listen to how these people are thinking. This is what I call this, no disrespect, 1994 people. These are 1994 people. They're stuck. What, 36 years old? 30 years of previous. They're stuck there. They're thinking, I do heavy, dangerous things. I check boxes for drugs. Cool. I check the port security, make sure there's no people. I check the food. I do quality, all this stuff, all the jobs. No problem. But this is 1994 thinking. I should make $200K because I work at the port and it's dangerous. Even though I'm a gate guard. Like, stop. And listen to yourselves. I really want y'all to hear what you're saying and how it plays out. This is how tone deaf these people are. These are 1994 people. They think Bill Clinton, good times, money was cheap. I should party every weekend if I want. I should have so much money left over from working this dangerous job that money just falls out my pocket. These are the people you're talking to. They really believe this. It's dangerous. Firefighter dangerous, police officer dangerous, logging, cutting trees in the woods, absolutely the most dangerous job in the world. It's number one. It even has automation. I don't think these people are, again, I was just about to say this, Texas, Tennessee, yeah, people move around. Listen, oil rig workers. Patrick Dix, there's nothing that's recession proof, right? But I'll put it to you like this. You should be able to have digital real estate that puts money in your pocket. And we've talked about that in millions of videos. You can go back in this channel and watch. There are millions of, there are products and services people have that might only put $1,000 or $3,000 in their pocket every month. But let's say they have 3 of them. Now they're getting about $3,000 to $10,000 a month off the internet while they do their main thing. This is common. This is why you're losing the argument with people, because people are like, oh, you do a dangerous job? Well, go do something else. You don't want to be a longshoreman anymore? No problem. Go do something else. Because they know when they go outside that longshore and they put their qualifications down on a piece of paper, there isn't somewhere else that will pay them like that, because we aren't valuing that skill. Right? Because these guys could go be merchants. What do you call them? What is the word for marine merchant? What's the word? Oh, I hate the word. I'm missing it. But they could go do that, because that's even more dangerous. But they don't want to do that. That required them to get a skill. The more they say it's hard, dangerous, the most wouldn't do it. Is giving more reason to automate. Exactly. Every time someone sit here and goes, it's so dangerous. It's like I could walk out in the rain and fall and cut my foot open. Well, you know what, brother? This is what we're going to do. We're not going to let any more people walk out on the dock in the rain and cut their foot open. We're going to get a robot to do it. No, don't do that. Don't do that. It's not that bad. Then which is it? Is it dangerous? You could lose your life. You could fall off the edge of the port. You could fall over. Stuff could fall on you. Well, let's put a robot there. They don't want to hear that shit. Come on, man. Get out of here. Which one is it? It's both, Erica. Cool. Charles said ain't no money in the NC. Charleston, you're doing the wrong thing, baby. If ain't no money in the NC, your family not doing well. It's a lot of money there. If your family's not doing well, that's the difference. That's somebody else's fault. Yeah, because here's the thing. People are not going to Ivy Leagues up north because the only way they know I'm going to really make some money from Ivy League North, I got to get in with people. I got to join a sorority. I got to join these clubs. I got to be networking. I got to put on suits and ties and go places. And people don't want to do that work no more. They rather have an easier road. Yo, mobile home elite investors, salute to you. Come on, you already know. We can't talk about that right now. Man, they got so much intel stuff going on. That's a whole nother video. You're speaking the truth. Family violence today is out of control. Financial stress is real. Union non-skilled laborers are gone. We need to get real skills. It's the truth. Listen, Sam, I can't say it, but you see it on the screen. And also the dam's broke. So I live in NYC, but I'm looking to purchase a home in the suburbs before the year's old. I refuse to raise my daughter in the city. Good luck. Congratulations. You can do it. Here we go. You keep talking about what's easy. If it's too dangerous, we got a robot. Charles, we're done. We're done with this conversation. We're going to put a robot there. We're going to save lives, Charles. You know how we're going to save them? Getting y'all the hell out of there. Come on, man. It's ridiculous. These are the same people. They'll wait for it to happen to them. Come on. There you go. It happens. The crown, listen. Salute. There are so many roofing contracts now. You already know. Oh, that's a whole nother video. I'm sorry. I can't even do that right now. Charles said he's the #1 straddle driver there. Awesome. It's still over there. But the school is where we're doing weekly live action stuff right now. So I'm in there almost every day, dropping content, dropping information, dropping what you can do right now, what we're doing actively. We created 2 online brands. They're private label and one's an official label. We went over there. I'm just showing you what I'm doing right now to get the digital income up, and we pour our digital money into physical. We pour our digital money also into Middleman to Millions, which we have that school group. And there's a reason, because literally a lot of these guys you see that we talked about yesterday with Eric Coffey, I'm a roofing company or I'm a this. And really they're just the guy who gets the contract and they get someone else to fulfill it. And we've talked about that for years and how it works well. You already know. Is it buffering? I apologize if it was. Love your content, Erica. Always sharing. Thank you. Thank you for super chat. I hope it was helpful. That's why I'm in nursing. Realized my degree was there. You go. They had a lick. They had a lick. I'm just telling you what it is, y'all. I'm just telling you what it is. I'm finishing this out. I'm trying to be respectful. Welcome to the Thunderdome. There you go. Roofers adjusters about to eat up this multiple hurricane state claims for sure. Again, here somebody is going back and forth with me about New York and New Jersey, and you don't know. And again, we're talking about the average income of the longshoreman. Average. We're not talking about just your port, just New Jersey, just New York, where they're making so much money. We get it. We get you, Charles. We hear you. We see you. I'm not putting you on block ministry because it's all engagement for the page. You dig what I'm saying? But we don't care. Exactly, Tam. 5 years. So you better live while you living. 60K is astronomical money. I mean, I don't think y'all understand. When people are like, oh, I want to make 60K, $60 an hour. And I'm like, that's engineer money. But okay. They did. They got air traffic controllers and pilots are people, once you get in your 50s, it's a wrap. They don't let you fly commercial planes anymore. And air traffic controllers, your eyes and stuff. But that's another conversation. Because he doing too much. Exactly. This is why this is comedy. I'm trying to knock the rest of this out. And again, some of y'all are in here going back and forth with me, and I get it. The reason the mods are not blocking you on the block ministry is just because it's engagement. Makes the page go up. Thanks. I appreciate it. For sure. For sure. He really did. Let me just see what else. Let me, sorry. I'm going to finish these last little super chats and keep it. We're going to get on out of here because we've been in here a minute. Haven't you learned? Don't argue with Kendrick Lamar, Erica Williams. They finna bring facts every time. That's why I'm just like, all right, cool. Keep arguing with me. I don't care. Suddenly all the manosphere 6-figure niggas want to be longshoremen. Yeah, y'all telling yourself. They're telling on themselves. I make 6 figures. Doing what? Doing where? Doing when? Come on, get out of here. Anyway, I gotta go. Oh, there you go. Happened to my mom at GM. She came out good. There you go. SMB, click the link, classyclimbers.com. If that's not working, we have the links in millions of videos. Somebody said, what's wrong with fighting for your job? Boy, again, we could tell people ain't learning. All right, anyways, you guys, this is your girl, Erica Class Climb Blog. I've done all I can do. Thank you so much. There's 449 people here. Thank you so much for all that you do. Thank you for communicating with me on this platform, on this live. After this video renders, we will have the links to all the schools and opportunities in here. Silver and gold, we already know you're a big baller. If you're on a roofing company, you balling right now. You guys have a wonderful evening. Thank you for being here. I already know I'm going to get lots of hate for this live, and I'm okay with that. I will see you guys tomorrow with some more juicy, hateful news and facts because, damn, facts are so horrible. All right, guys, this is your girl, Erica, Classic on Blog. Later.